Shit, nigga wanna say something about my mama. Your mama dead as fuck, nigga. Your mama dead as fuck. Go dig up.
This camp might have won the battle, but they ain't win the war.
That clip is the moment the entire energy of this situation changed, because up until that point, T and his camp had been operating with a specific kind of confidence. The confidence of people who believed they were winning a rap battle, and that winning a rap battle was the thing that mattered most. Then 50 Cent posted a teaser for a documentary built around more than 20 sexual assault allegations tied to T and his wife, and in one move, the battlefield shifted so completely that winning the bars became almost irrelevant. A rap battle is entertainment. A documentary built around serious allegations is something else entirely, and everyone watching understood the difference immediately.
You want weed?
Nah, I said I wanted 50. That's what I said. He don't want no smoke though.
Oh, Lord.
I called my man out. He don't want no smoke. He ducking smoke.
The deleted Instagram post about surviving Ty and Tiny is the move that set the temperature for everything that followed. Because 50 Cent deleting a post is never an accident and never a retreat. The deletion is the move. Post it long enough for the internet to grab it, screenshot it, and distribute it to every platform simultaneously. Then remove it to maintain deniability, while the message has already landed everywhere it needed to land. Anyone who has watched 50 operate across 2 decades of public conflict recognizes this exact pattern. The post wasn't the announcement, the post was the warning, and the warning came attached to a track record that gave it weight that a vague threat from almost anyone else would never carry.
Well, T.I. decided to respond and play into it and say, I'm gonna use it to promote my music. He said, at 50 Cent, I don't fear my past. I'm too focused on the future. Top 20 in 2 weeks in climbing. Now, hashtag let them know that. King, I'm love not like. Hashtag my God don't.
20 years of tension compressed into a sequence that keeps escalating at every turn. Regional rivalry that turned personal after the 2007 weapons arrest. The snitch narrative embedded into a verse that followed T.I. through years of his career. A Verzoos agreement that T.I. says was made and then ghosted when the cameras came on. And then February 2026 as the match that lit everything simultaneously. The Nightcap podcast appearance, the Crime Stoppers PSA post, the photo of Tiny with the shrug emoji, each move building on the last one with the precision of someone who understands exactly how much weight each action carries and exactly how the target will respond. 50 Cent didn't stumble into this situation. He walked into it with a blueprint already drawn.
With a caption mocking her appearance.
How are you doing? I am just bringing it to your attention that it is now July the 6th. And I gave you 2 days for a grace period just because I had to get my shit together. I was having a good time. But 5 mics, there's an app check for you or a paycheck for me.
King Harris targeting 50's mother is the moment that divided the entire audience and gave 50 the one thing he needed most, the moral high ground, because before that moment, the conversation was split. Some people felt 50 crossed a line by posting Tiny. Others felt Ty's Verzoos claims were legitimate grievances. The back and forth had the energy of 2 sides genuinely disputing something real. And then King Harris went to 50's dead mother's gravesite and told him to dig her up. And the split closed. Not completely, but enough. Enough that when 50 responded by simply saying, "My mom died when I was little, and you said that to me," the sympathy shifted in a direction that even T's most loyal supporters couldn't fully argue against. The grave post gave 50 something he couldn't have manufactured, and King Harris handed it to him voluntarily.
50 Cent decided to wake up this Saturday, February 7th, on the dark side of the bed once again. And if you follow, you know I done spoke on that before, how I feel 50 Cent does not wake up on the wrong side of the bed in the morning. He wakes up on the dark side. And I say at least about half the month, maybe about 15 days, he gonna get it to the capital C's and go at somebody.
Ty's birthday video dancing with his living mother the very next day was subtle in its construction and devastating in its effect. No caption needed to explain the contrast. No direct reference to 50 or the grave post required. Just a man celebrating his mother on her birthday while a diss track played in the background. The audience filled in the rest themselves. And that's the specific kind of communication that lands harder than anything explicit because it forces the audience to do the emotional work rather than having it done for them. Ty understood what he was doing. The question the internet was already asking about 50 and a man who lost his mother at 8 years old to a murder that was never solved was being answered visually without anyone having to say it directly.
It was something much bigger.
The gentleman
an ambassador of the South, has now I'm trying to get an update, Tip. You called out 50 Cent and said you want to do the versus
let me tell
battle.
you something, guys. Hey, listen.
Here we go.
Hey, look, let me tell you something, guys. I know what the most entertaining and probably the most relevant, humorous thing for us to talk about. And I guess we can talk about it.
The allegations that 50 Cent is now signaling he might build a documentary around have been sitting in public view since 2021. Sabrina Peterson's original accusation opening the door. Attorney Tyrone Blackburn representing 11 accusers within weeks, 8 women alleging direct sexual assault, 3 others with related claims, a pattern described across multiple accounts, invitations to events, drinks allegedly laced with substances, encounters that witnesses described as non-consensual, attorney Lisa Bloom adding 2 more clients, the New York Times speaking with 5 alleged victims who described similar patterns, and a letter to law enforcement describing the situation as a pattern of methodical sadistic abuse. None of this was hidden. It was documented, reported, and publicly available for 4 years before 50 Cent pointed at it. What he's threatening to do is give it structure, visual form, and a platform of millions.
Some people call me Tip, but this is about another kind of tip that can help our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, and our fathers help get the perpetrators who commit crimes against them off the streets. All you got to do is call Crime Stoppers Atlanta. Tips can be anonymous, and there's even a reward. The number to Crime Stoppers Atlanta is 404-577-8477. That's 404-577-TIPS.
The legal outcomes gave Ty and Tiny some protection, and that's worth being accurate about. The LAPD opened an investigation in May 2021. The Los Angeles County District Attorney declined to file charges in September, citing expired statutes of limitations. VH1 canceled the show. The 2024 civil lawsuit filed under California's Sexual Abuse and Cover-Up Accountability Act was eventually dismissed with prejudice after the plaintiff didn't respond to filings. No criminal charges have ever been filed. The couple has denied every allegation, called them financially motivated, and has a defamation lawsuit against Sabrina Peterson still pending with a trial scheduled for June 2026. All of that is the legal record, but here's the distinction that matters in this specific situation. Courtrooms and documentaries operate by completely different rules. A courtroom requires evidence, procedure, and proof beyond reasonable doubt. A documentary requires compelling testimony, structure, and a platform. Legal outcomes cannot stop cameras from rolling. A case being dismissed cannot prevent a production crew from knocking on doors and asking questions. And 50 Cent has never needed a conviction to reshape how the public sees someone.
The station came from, if we in a case together and I die, put it on me.
God bless.
Put it on me, bro. If I'm dead and you can go home, man, put the case on me. You hear me?
Yeah.
And unless it was some shit I wouldn't be a part of if I was alive, you know what I'm saying? If you got some dope and I'm gone and you're like, man, shit, it wasn't mine, so, man, why not, bro? You still have a life to live after I'm gone. Why would I expect you to, where is the logic in that?
Right.
Where's the logic in
The playbook is documented across multiple situations, and it follows the same sequence every time. Social media posts that look random but aren't. Public framing that shapes how the audience understands the situation before any formal content arrives. Production beginning quietly while the online conversation keeps the audience's attention locked. And then the documentary arriving not to introduce a story the public hasn't heard, but to organize a story they've already been primed for, giving it a beginning, middle, and end on a platform where millions can absorb it in a single sitting. Surviving R. Kelly drew approximately 26 million viewers in 2019. R. Kelly was convicted in 2021. The documentary didn't create the evidence. It organized what existed in a way that made the trajectory feel almost inevitable to the public. That's the blueprint, and when 50 Cent names a project surviving Ty and Tiny, he isn't being subtle about which blueprint he's following or what outcome he's pointing toward. The family being pulled in is the part of the situation that created the most complicated dynamic for Ty specifically. King Harris showing loyalty by defending his mother is understandable at a human level. A 21-year-old watching a grown man with 30 million followers post his mom's image. The instinct to react is real. But the t-shirt with Sabrina Jackson's image during the diss video crossed a line that even some of T's supporters couldn't defend, and T himself acknowledging in interviews that he had been trying to guide King away from this kind of behavior for years, that he told him to stop after the t-shirt, and suggests he understood that the response had created new problems rather than solving the original one, Tiny calling her sons her biggest flex for standing up for her. Ty framing it as defense rather than dominance. A 9-year-old posting in support of her mother, an entire family mobilized simultaneously, and 50 Cent watching every move with a production company in the background and attorneys reportedly tracking every statement made publicly. The real stakes of a documentary landing on a major platform are specific and significant. T.I.'s Kill the King, touring run facing cancellations or protests from venues that don't want the association. The Trap Music Museum carrying a different kind of attention than it was designed to carry. Acting roles and past appearances becoming talking points for the wrong reasons in conversations he can't control. Tiny's X-Cape reunion plans getting overshadowed by a narrative that has nothing to do with the music. Business ventures, real estate, media projects. All of them carrying the weight of what a well-distributed documentary can attach to a person's name permanently. That's the specific threat, not a lawsuit, not a criminal charge, a story told in visual form to millions of people who will carry their impression of it long after the specific details fade. And the counter threat, Ty hinting at a documentary focused on 50's past, is only as credible as the infrastructure behind it. Production system, distribution connections, audience already primed and waiting. That's the gap that matters more than the bars. As of March 8, 2026, no documentary has officially dropped. No network has confirmed anything. No full project has been released publicly. And that silence from 50 Cent is doing exactly what it's designed to do. Building tension, holding attention, and keeping everyone watching for a next move that may arrive with no additional warning, because the threat of the documentary is itself a form of control. Every day it hasn't dropped is another day T and his camp have to operate under the weight of not knowing when it's coming, what it contains, whose voices are in it, and what platform it lands on. That uncertainty is a pressure that music can't respond to. Diss tracks don't address documentary threats. Instagram posts don't neutralize production timelines. And Ty saying doc for doc only matters if the infrastructure to deliver that exists at the same level as what 50 has already built and demonstrated across multiple major projects. Rap battles have a clear scoring system. Everyone watching can see who landed harder bars. The documentary game doesn't work that way. It works on timing, distribution, narrative control, and the patience to let something land when the moment is right rather than when the emotion demands it. That's where the situation now lives. Not on Instagram, not in a verse, in a production decision that one side has already made and the other side is still reacting to.